All right. So we have David asking, with all the success of the Irish pubs, do you think a Scottish pub would have the same success?
Would a Scottish pub have as much success as an Irish pub? Um, there are Scottish pubs. There are English pubs in America. It just depends on where you are, where you go. There's a place in Hellertown, I believe, called Braveheart's Scottish pub, and they buy a bunch of kilts from us, and they sponsor the kilt run at Celtic Classic. So yes, Scottish pubs do exist. It's not. I would say. Here's the funny thing about Irish or Scottish pubs. Most pubs with a theme like that start off with the best intentions, and they say, "Look, and I'm an Irish guy from Ireland. I want to open a pub because my town here in America that I just moved to, my adopted country, they don't have a good Irish pub. I'm gonna come up with the best Irish pub," and what they end up doing is opening it up, and it's very, very authentic for a time. And then what they find is the novelty of it kind of wears off for the locals. So everyone goes out, supports it right out of the gates, and then it's like, okay, it's the same thing. It's just Irish music again. Oh, I really want to hear some rock and roll in there once in a while. I want to hear somebody, and they go, okay, well then maybe we'll introduce, rock and roll Thursday night, or the game Quizzo Wednesday nights, or karaoke Tuesday, and they start coming up with other themes for nights of the pub. And then what ends up happening is the Irish music section kind of gets squished to 1 day or 2 day a week. And then if it's a college kind of town, or there's a college near there, it's a novelty, but again, that's not the type of music the bar crowd wants to hear on a regular basis. And I'm speaking from experience here. Between Kildare's Irish pub, between Brittingham's Irish pub, between Molly Maguire's Irish pub, most Irish bars start off as an Irish pub and eventually kind of over time morph into a college sports bar with Irish decorations, is the way that I generally phrase it. It's sad. It's a fact of business, but the good ones, the ones that are like more frequented or kind of hold on to the authenticity of it, hold on a little bit longer and keep incorporating it in. And if you can make it past the 3-year mark ish as a bar, I think you're okay for a longer period of time. If it's a flash in the pan, it's difficult, and the quicker you try to tweak your thing or you change, okay, well, oh no, the last three Saturdays we didn't get as many people. Now we need to change the entire thing real quick. When you overreact and overcorrect, I think that's almost when you're in trouble. You just kind of have to introduce things slowly and let people get used to it, because it's difficult to go back to being a pure Irish bar once you cross the rainbow into the other side and you have, the Blink 182 cover band every weekend.
This sounds like a very specific experience you had. I don't know the story, but there's a story here.
I may or may not have been in the Blink 182 cover band. Now, what are your Irish bar experiences? What are your thoughts?
Similar. I would agree with most of those sentiments. I would say that the American palate is not quite ready for a truly Scottish pub. Like Scottish food, most Americans aren't going to be in love with haggis. Or
we are. It's all deep fried over there, so it's fine.
That's true. If we're going for that kind of vibe, I guess people will figure it out. I've been to the worst version of this, though. Yeah. A little over 10 years ago, I was going down for a wedding somewhere near Bel Air, Maryland, and they had one of those tilted kilts. So if you're not familiar with tilted kilt, it's basically a Scottish dressed-up version of a Hooters. And I knew that going in. I thought, oh, but they'll still have Scottish food on the menu, surely, and I can try it. Because I probably hadn't even had haggis yet at that point in my life, or some other things. I was hoping at least to get a Scotch egg. I'd had those.
Hooters doesn't have owls on the menu. Why would you think that? Sorry, Mac.
Owls.
Owls. Yes, Hooters. Owls. That's That's what they based it
So
on, right?
after the wedding, we went to the Tilted Kilt, and they had 0 things that were at all Scottish on their menu. They had a bunch of Irish things, because most Americans can't tell the difference between Scottish food and Irish food, or accents or dress, for that matter.
Or Scots and Irish.
Yeah. So, I ended up having a fine enough time, I guess. We were already a little drunk from being at the wedding. But yeah, that was the worst case. Worst example of what a Scottish pub can be. I don't know if there's any particular place in America where there's a strong enough concentration of people that have both Scottish descent and are really looking for a truly authentic Scottish experience.
See,
it'd be tough. It'd be tough business model, but it's potential.
I disagree with you. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
I think fish and chips, good. I don't eat fish, but a good fish and chips would go over well. And I think there is a curiosity, a morbid curiosity to a degree, about haggis, that if you had it as both a full meal, the neeps and tatties, the whole thing, and you also had it as an appetizer where people could spend $7 or $8 on it just to try it, just to say, I had haggis last night, and brag to their friends that they ate the weird Scottish food, then I think it could work in that way. And then you supplement it with, the regular burgers and chicken stuff as well. Or you have, curry, because that's what they eat a lot of curry in Scotland. Yeah. But you have some authentic dishes and then some other stuff that's just kind of normal fare. So if you have a family and some kids, the kids have something that, they don't want to try haggis, but they'll have their chicken fingers and French fries.
So I guess the advice is if you have little finger food versions of haggis, maybe like little pastries that look like little meat pies
haggis
kind
balls.
of thing. Little
haggis balls, yeah.
Haggis balls, yeah. Fry them. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Now here's how I think it would
Scotch
work.
eggs would go over well.
Yes, Scotch eggs as an appetizer. That's what I'm talking about.
Now,
here's the other way I think it works. You have the area's biggest Scotch selection.
Oh, yeah.
The whiskey selection, and you're known for that.
Yeah.
You carry Scottish beers, English beers,
now you're
Irish
talking
beers.
my language.
Yes, because we're talking pub, we're talking bar, and then you bring in some of the food, and you're going more that direction. Then, yes, then I think you could get known for that. You'd be a little bit more upscale, maybe, but and you're doing finer cuisine, not pub food, but a little bit better food,
gastropub kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I'm feeling this.
So I think you can make it work.
So when the next expansion happens and we go to from the
right
USA Kilts 2-story building to the tower, the Spring City world headquarters of USA
with the
Kilts.
top that rotates, so you can look upon the splendor that is Spring City.
That's where the pub is that we're opening up. I'm liking this idea more and more. Yes, it's totally doable. Whoever asked that.
Now, Mark,
we're doing it.
Mark has pointed out that Denver has a pub called Pints that has over 220 different versions of single malt Scotch.
So next month we'll be recording the show from Pints in Denver.
We're going to try all of them.
We never planned to make this a traveling show, but Mark just made it happen right now. Good job, Mark.
Mark, we'll send you the details to get our plane tickets out there for us. Well, we only have a staff of 8 that are going to need to go, plus extra baggage for the equipment. It's fine.
And all the people to carry the baggage.
Oh, of course, yes. We only fly first class, just so you know.
So, Mark, once you make all those arrangements, you can be the Kilted ambassador next month too.
We'll even let you come in live. We'll sign something for you. We'll have the 8x10s. We'll sign them for you. It's fine. No, if I ever send out 8x10s and sign them, shoot me. So yes,
you just said it out loud. People are going to request it now.
I know.
You got to be careful.
Looking out for snipers. No, but I think a Scottish pub could work. An English pub it's yes.
Here's the secret to success. If you're going to try to open your own Scottish pub and make a go of it, don't do it too close to us because we don't want the competition in our USA Kilts World Headquarters Tower. But
even in the studio, we don't need the competition.
Write and get our permission, but we want you to have Madame Tussauds style wax dolls. They're not dolls. What do you call it?
Mannequins?
Sculptures of Rocky and Eric, so that people can come and take their pictures with Rocky and Eric like they met a celebrity. That's really going to drive the business idea home. I'm full of great business ideas. Ask Rocky. I'm always coming up with them.
I will take a flamethrower to it and burn it down. I'll sculpt it off so I look skinnier than I am.
Well, that could be conditional upon, the permission to grant it. Make it skinnier.
Very good. Very good.
Here's his picture of me from 10 years ago. Make it like that.
Look, Rocky has hair.
We're not cutting mine off to put on your mannequin.
It doesn't matter whether the pub is Irish, Scottish, English, or just a regular old sports bar. You bring the culture with you. When you go out, get a bunch of your buddies together and wear the kilts and go out and have a good time and represent doing it. If you want to find like-minded people, go to our Facebook group. Look up Kilts and Culture, and we have members across the country who would be happy to go out and hang out with you and knock back a few in a kilt.